We're going to go over the physical geography of North Europe, Northern Highlands, Scandinavia, the Ural Mountains over here in Russia. You remember the Black Sea? The Danube River runs right into it, cutting through a lot of Europe. Up here you see the Carpathian Mountains, the Balkan Peninsula. Right down here, above the boot, which is Italy, see the boot, is the Adriatic Sea. Down below is the Mediterranean Sea. One of my favorite places in the world is right down here in the Mediterranean Sea. It says Mont Blanc at 15,774 feet. Yes, boys and girls, I have been right where you could visually see Mont Blanc, and I've actually ice climbed on Mont Blanc back in 2003. Where were you? The Alps, that was right in the Swiss Alps, which is also called the Italian Alps and part of the French Alps. It's named different types of Alps because it covers different portions of countries, and they all like to claim it because it's a beautiful place to snowboard and ski. As it says right here, the Alps are rugged mountains that have their own snowy climate, perfect for winter sports like skiing. Look at how beautiful that mountain is. And yes, that would be a beautiful little place to get up on the top by a helicopter and snowboard down in the middle of winter. But you can see here, it's actually, this picture was probably taken in about June. That's usually when I like to go to Europe. Scandinavia, way up here, is a long, narrow peninsula that extends from the northernmost part of Europe. Scandinavia, Norway and Sweden. Right here you have England, Ireland, and Scotland. They call it Great Britain. And down here would be the Iberian Peninsula, as part of Portugal's here, and Spain, and La France is right here. You'd find Germany in this region, and most of this is Russia. They own more of Europe than anyone. Morocco and places like that you could find right along here. Turkey. We'll get a little deeper into the physical regions, geography of Europe as we move through here. Here's the pages. Beautiful. Suppose you fly in an airplane across Europe and Russia. If you began over the Atlantic Ocean, right here, our eastern coast is the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean, you would first notice that Europe is a giant peninsula stretching westward from a larger landmass. From it extend many smaller peninsulas, so that the whole continent of Europe is sometimes called the Peninsula of Peninsulas. Next, you might notice two important mountain ranges. The Alps stretch in an east-west arc through Central Europe. Flying east, you would see a north-south mountain range called the Urals, the Ural Mountains. These mountains form the traditional border between European Russia and Asiatic Russia. The North European plain sweeps east-west across Europe into European Russia. These lowlands have had both benefits and drawbacks for the region. The flatland is good for settlement and farming. It has also been a gateway for invading armies throughout history. Germany once tried to invade Russia, and they fought back, and they won. Not Germany, Russia won. Look, it says Siberia. That's what they call the Asiatic part of Russia. The West Siberian Plain borders the world's largest steppes region, an extensive area of cold and dry grasslands. Look, this is the Caspian Sea, much like you know from Prince Caspian. In-flight movie. Take a flight over Europe and Russia and explore the region from the air. Click here and see what happens. It didn't work. Woo! Human geography. Humans all over the planet, mostly all over Europe. You recognize this map. There's Le Francais. Mr. Schwinn loves France, but he loves the little tiny yellow speck of Switzerland more. Right above Italian boot, Italy. See the boot? Is the Adriatic Sea and the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea, which the Danube River comes right up through here, starts in Germany. Here's Spain, Portugal, the United Kingdom, London, England, Paris, France, Scandinavia, which is Sweden and Norway, and then here's beautiful Mother Russia, and its capital Moscow. The Ottoman Empire is down here, and Greece, Austria, Hungary, Turkey are all located down here. Bulgaria. Way up here is Iceland. It's very cold there. Icy cold. Europe and European Russia, circa 1890. This is a map of it in 1890. Boy, it's changed since then. Europe and European Russia were composed of large empires at the end of the 1800s. There's London in 1890. Look, there's no cars because they didn't have them back then. They didn't exist. Now, what happens to Russia between 1890 and today? Europe and European Russia today. Well, they took most of this land from Russia and turned it into a bunch of different countries, as well as right here, which they turned into Finland. You can see how things changed. Norway became its own, Sweden became its own, Russia lost a lot of territory. I can't read that close. Let's zoom in. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. Wow, look at this. In the 1900s, the large empires fell. They went crashing down. World War I, World War II brought many countries to their knees and divided most of Europe up into little smaller parts, especially in this area. Can you see the difference? Take a little look. The Ottoman Empire fell. It's now Turkey, Greece, and Bulgaria, and a bunch of other little countries. Little Budapest, Buda, Belarus, Poland, Ukraine, Germany, all here still. Belgium, the North Sea. Throughout history, the population density of Europe has been high because of its temperate climate, miles of coastline and rivers, and acres of good farmland. Russia, on the other hand, is the largest nation on Earth. But about 80% of the population live in a smaller European area, like right up and about here. This is because only about 7%, means 93%, is not inhabitable. 7% of Russia's land is good for farming, and its harbors are blocked by ice for months. It's so cold they can't even sail. Russia is a land of extreme, harsh climate, rugged terrain, and great distances. My world in numbers. Take a look. In Sweden, the rural part, that's farmland, folks. And the urban part, it's a big difference. 17% rural, 83% urban. You can see for France, 24% rural, 76% urban. United Kingdom, 11% rural and 89% urban. Urban is city living. It's like if you lived in Atlanta, you'd be living in a city, but we don't. We live in Walker County, which is rural. In Italy, 33% is rural and 67% is urban. The Ukraine, 33% rural and 67% urban, probably the largest percentage of rural. And even in Russia, 27% is rural and 73% is urban. The land area of Europe and Russia is more than 150% larger than that of the United States. That's a whole lot bigger than the U.S. Look at the map of the United States of America, the land mass. They put it in comparison to the entirety of Europe. USA is much smaller. So let's answer some questions. Go ahead, get out your pencil and paper. Number 1 is what we're going to, 2 and 3, we're going to answer these, and you're going to write down your thoughts. Actually, what you should do is, because it'd be a lot easier if you just did a voice recording, is go ahead and copy the questions, and then you'll answer them by voice through your app. Let's use the app Show Me. Show me. So, number 1, you'll copy down which mountain range separates European Russia from Asiatic Russia. It might be the Ural Mountains. In what ways has the physical geography of Europe and Russia affected where people live and work? What ways has the physical geography of Europe and Russia affected where people live and work? You might want to think back to when we spoke about, I always go back to the text. Right here, Russia, on the other hand, is the largest nation on Earth, but about 80% of the population live in the smaller European part of the country. This is because only about 7% of Russia's land is good for farming, and it has harbors that are usually blocked by ice. Throughout history, the population density of Europe has been high because of its temperate climate, miles of coastline rivers, and acres of good farmland. If you wrote down any of those, it would be a good choice. So number 2, in what ways has the physical geography of Europe and Russia affected where people live and work? If you want to, you can go back to answer this. Go back and look right here. And look at this, because it says it right here in this text. You could even copy that. Press pause now. Now you're back. Number 3, 28% of Georgia residents live in rural areas. How does this distribution compare with the European countries shown above? So 28% of Georgia residents live in rural areas. Go ahead and draw a circle like this for Georgia and put urban and rural and put the percentage. You know 28% of Georgia residents live in rural areas. 28%. So how much live in the urban area? Draw a pie chart to represent that. If you want to, you can import a picture of a city and of a farm and then draw a line over it to make it look similar to this. If you have any questions, let me know. You can always press repeat. And once you have all 3 of these done, you've completed the assignment for today. Thanks for watching.